So let's so this one, right? This is a little bit, different. Please let us know. If we click this, it's actually going to the direct Outlook mail. Okay, so whatever this is set up, whatever, so it's by default, it's actually accessing the client application. Okay, so this is, I would not say this is a defect. This is a feature. Okay, so this is a feature, but it's up to business how they want to implement that feature. Okay, so I would not say that as a defect, but it's kind of if you think that is not user friendly, you can definitely raise this issue in the meeting, saying that okay, so this is the case. Whenever you're navigating this, clicking on this, it's actually moving that URL to the client application that is showing up as if you install any client application, email client basically. Okay, so whatever the email client, it's like Outlook, Thunderbird. So it's actually, whenever you click that, it's navigating to that. It's automatically opening that. Okay. So I would not say that as a defect. Okay. That's not a defect, but it's a feature. Or is even if you hover your mouse over this URL, you show this like gmo-master@cdu.com. Okay, even you can email it through your email ID. So that is something that is. So it's a feature. So of course, so whenever you open a defect, whenever you raise an issue. So first, let's say you find an issue, then you find that a lot of people actually found this issue, right? Good that you guys have. Okay. Okay, so okay, I'll speak a little bit louder. Okay, so whenever you open an issue, okay, so make sure you need to communicate the issue to your lead. Okay, you cannot just you found an issue, I just wanted to open this defect. You cannot do that because, as I told you, it may be a feature. Okay, it might be something else that you may not know. So they might be migrating to another another website or another service, so we don't know. Okay, so whenever you open an issue, always like you have sent an email, right? So similar way, you need to send an email to your respective lead or respective manager. Okay, not manager doesn't involve in this. Okay, so don't send to the manager, never send to the manager at the first place. You need to coordinate with your lead or developer. Of course, you need to coordinate with the developer to find is the issue or not. Okay, you need to check with that guy, is this issue or not. Okay. Okay, so these kind of things, right? So this, there is no comma separators. So this is not an issue. This is a feature. Okay, first you need to differentiate what is the feature and what is the defect. Feature is something which is, which you want to add in an application. Okay, in an application, in a web application or client application, you think that should be there. Okay, that is something which makes user more convenient to make a transaction. Okay, that makes user more comfortable to make this application. So that's called feature. Okay, and defect is something which is, either not there in the requirement or it should be there. No, it is there in the requirement, but it's not there in the website. That's a defect. Okay, what is defect? defect is something which is there in the requirement. I'm sorry, which is with the, the feature which is there in the requirement, but it's not showing up in the application. That's called defect. Okay. So don't get confused. This is the way you just sentence. So this looks for me as a feature, not as a defect. Okay, because here is saying that no comma separators. So this is something they have not added it. So you need to request, talking to your business analyst. So this, you need to check with your business analyst, and you need to coordinate with them and get the information. Okay. So this is a very good issue. So this, I would say, this is the issue. Because this is everyone are using HTTPS, okay? So nobody is using HTTP. And most importantly, when you are using a credit card transaction online, okay? So whenever you are using this credit card information online, right? Now there is no website that you need to use HTTP. It's always, and it's a mandatory to use HTTPS. There's no more HTTP. As per my knowledge goes, there is no HTTP. Why? Because definitely this is not secure when you are giving your address, when you are giving your credit card information. Okay, all this information is going through online, and so many eyes are prying on it. Okay, so this is definitely these days even searching, Google has made HTTPS. It says HTTPS. So here you're not even giving your credit information. You're only searching. Still it's HTTPS because no one else wants to know what you're searching, right? So that's why this should be HTTPS. So this is, I would say, this is an issue because these days it has become mandatory, and even for small things you have to use HTTPS because a lot of information is getting hacked. Even if you use HTTPS, there's a different story altogether. But this should be. So this is a very good issue actually. So okay, so this is good issue. So I was expecting this. Okay, so good. So this is something which is a critical issue, right? Let's see where this issue is exactly. So you go here. Oops, not this. Go here. Whenever you hover your mouse over this image, first thing, this image is an image, not an URL. Okay. So remember one thing, this image is an image. But whenever you're hovering your mouse over this image, the cursor is changing to hand cursor. That is not required. So first thing, that is a defect. Okay, it's a very simple defect, no big deal. But the moment you click on this, it is changing into server error. So as a customer, as a user, I don't want this. Okay, this is definitely an issue. So I would raise it as an issue. Okay, so they might, business might not consider this as a critical issue, but still it's an issue. It may be a small, it may be low issue, very low priority and low, the low issue, but it's still an issue. So I would consider this as an issue because two things. Whenever you hold your mouse over this image, it's not supposed to change into hand cursor unless it is a URL is integrated with that image. But the moment you click on this HTTP server error, okay. So let's take an example here. Okay, so whenever you hover your mouse over here, it's not changing anything. See this the difference? So I would consider that as a defect. So that's good. Okay. Let's quickly check. We don't have much time. So this is what we already discussed in the class, right? So this is, see, this issue is actually from the Chrome. Okay, so okay, that's a good issue to find out. So this is from the Chrome itself. Let's quickly check. Okay, let's quickly check here. So when whenever you are using this more than once, it's it's not letting you to in. Okay, so that's the thing. You see this, and when you hit enter, it's showing up again. So this is the issue from the Chrome. That doesn't happen in Firefox. You see this? So definitely that is an issue to find out. Okay, let's quickly check in the Firefox. Okay. So that's a definitely an issue to find out, saying that when you are having more than one times you're logging it, see this, click OK, and this is back again. Maybe set form is working here, but you click on this, place another. This is good. Okay. So it's actually, the Chrome, actually the Chrome itself has some issue. So, you need to check such kind of things. This is good actually. This is good that, something came up, but you need to check again, whatever is showing up, always make sure, coordinate with the lead saying that, hey, this is pop-up window is coming up, and, whenever I'm making 2 times, a same mistake, it's not letting me in, and it's showing this. Okay, so that's a good thing. Someone point out, okay, it's people have done good. So let's quickly move to the class. Go through quickly. Okay. So good. I mean, you guys have done good. So always make sure because see, again, I'm repeating this. Whenever you open an issue, always send an email like this, just like you have sent, right? And coordinate with your lead, saying that, see, this is the issue, I found it, but in the requirements, it doesn't show up. Requirements completely different. But here it's showing an issue. So can you give more insight of this? Okay, is this really an issue? Can I, open a defect on this? From there, you need to start your, testing. Okay, okay, you will be starting your testing, but raising up issues, this is how you need to start. Okay, just because you found an issue doesn't mean it's an issue. Just remember that one point. Okay, just one point in your whole testing life. Just because you found an issue doesn't mean it's an issue. It might be a feature. It might be a low business, not even a business critical issue. Okay, lowest priority. Okay, if it's the lowest priority, business doesn't care. Okay, but it might be an issue, of course. So you need to check. You need to check with whom? Check with the requirements. Check with the FRD, function required document. Check with the business required documents. Okay. Then check with the lead. If the lead is not there, check with the developer. If the developer is not there, check with the architect guy. If the architect is not there, check with the business. So you have a lot of people to check with. Okay. So you cannot run out of people. A lot of people are working here on the same project. Okay. So make sure you need to check before opening anything. Okay. So okay, good. You guys have done good. Just make sure you keep doing this homework for 2 weeks and you should be good. So let's go to the next topic. So we'll discuss about this Rally tool. So what's Rally again? It's a test management tool. Okay. So why do we require that? So here is the thing. Okay, you know what the requirement is. You found an issue. Okay, and your lead said, okay, it's good, go ahead and open a defect. Now, you need to open a defect, right? You need to open your defect. To open a defect, you need to know one tool. Okay, I mean, you need to use a tool, of course. You cannot open defect. So, just sending an email to developer doesn't help, because a lot of people have to know it. Your Scrum Master has to know, your manager, most importantly your manager, because they are going to see what's the issues and how it should be escalated. Okay, your manager, scrum master, developer, even if it's not a developer issue, the architect guys or some other team members, web team members or Java team members, some people has to know it, and how they know it, this is how you use this tool. So that's the reason you need this tool. Okay, so because now you cannot send an email to everyone, you cannot, that's not a proper way, that's not a good way to start with. So we use this tool. So let's say this is a rally, so that by end of today, I'll be giving you access to this tool. So we'll start here. Let's say you have this access, username and password, so you have both credentials to log in here. And once you log in into this rally, okay, so rally is pretty good for agile. If you're, let's say if you're working on an agile environment, it's good. It don't have to be an agile. I mean, even if you're using waterfall or helical model or whatever model it is, rally is still good. Okay, it's not even just my personal opinion, but the way it's designed, because HPLM has some issues. We'll discuss about that. Okay, but here, see, let's say you're logging into here. This is the dashboard, and here you see projects. So again, you need to make sure which project you're working on. Here it's only 4. That's good. There you have like thousands and 10,000s of projects. Okay, so which project you're working, you need to make sure. You need to check with your lead or check with your colleague or whoever is with your working. And once you know which project you're working on, okay, so this is not something to install. Oops, I made a mistake. So give me a second. I'll just change this. So this is not something to install. This is web. So this is on the web. So this is you don't have to install anything here. So which class are we in March, right? So give me a second. I'll just change some values here. Okay. Actually, I should have done this before, but let's do it now. So this is the job of admin. So you're not going as an admin, but let's quickly look into this pretty quick. So what happens, right? So admin actually is responsible for creating this, projects. Okay, now not projects are created by Scrum Master, but admins can have this access. Let's quickly check. Okay. So I'll just edit this as March. So you guys don't have this access to this. As a user, you're not doing all this. Okay, so don't worry about it. Okay, good. And, okay, we are good. Now, okay, now we go to this February. Okay, so make sure always you need to go which project you're working on, right? So here is the thing. So I've created a new project here. So it's good. Now we know which project we are working on. It's March time. So this will not be simple. In project, you need to know the name of the project, what project you're working on. So once you go there, now this user interface remains same. Yeah. Now you need to go to plan. Go to, give me a second. Again, go to the user story. Okay, good. Okay, so here's the thing. Now you know this user story. So user story, what is the user story? It's a requirement. So let's say your business analyst or product owner has already created this requirement. So this I made it easy because just an URL and the screenshot that this is what you're going to test. Okay, so this is a requirement, right? So this is the requirement. What is the requirement? Go to the user stories and see which requirement are you working on. So here you see a lot of requirements, a lot of things. So many people are working on. You don't know which requirement. You need to check it out. You need to check it out. You need to check with whoever is working on, or you check with which business analyst. Okay, or Scrum Master. Okay, check with them. Okay, so this is the requirement, right? So now we know which where is the requirement. So US 145, that is user story 145. Okay, that is the user story now name. And now we'll work on this. So this is pretty simple. This would not be that simple because see that this user story is made, okay, keeping in so many people's mind, because this user story is being accessed by Scrum Master. This user story, same user story will be accessed by developer. The same user story will be accessed by architect and so on. QA, front end, back end, all, everyone will be accessing it. So there will be a lot of information putting up here, but it's not necessary to understand all the information what is there here. As I told you, it has to be, so many people has to access it. So only understand what is required as per the testing perspective. Only understand what is required as per testing. So there might be just one line statement or two line statement, that's it. Whole bunch of 30 to 40 lines, you'll be just finding one line useful. Okay, so stick with that. So this is like this, this is simple, I made it simple, verify all the functionality. So we have this user story. Now we are ready. Okay, now you started testing. You found an issue, you checked with your lead, and lead said, okay, go ahead and open an issue. Now you found that which project is you are working on, you found which user story we will be working on, and now you found that user story. Now here we are going to work. Okay, so here are so many modules here. You see this, what you call menu bar, not exactly menu, so below the, it's kind of, I'll stick with menu bar. Okay, you have a lot of information here, details, tasks, children, defects, okay, a lot of things here. So we'll go to task. Okay. Oops, I didn't delete that. Oops. Okay. I deleted wrong thing. Okay, we'll just put it here and just delete this too. I need to delete each and okay, so I'll just explain a task. So why do we need this task? So we also have test cases. Okay, don't get confused with test cases and tasks. Test cases, is for whenever you are writing you need to write a test cases for an application, right? You need to write it there. Task is, let's say you have a lot of work. Okay, you need to do functional testing, you need to do regression testing, you need to do integration testing, you need to do, smoke testing, we'll not worry about it for now. You need to do system integration testing, so on. So you have a lot of work to do. But for each testing, you need to create test cases, right? For each testing, you need to create test cases for each of them. Let's say, I'll stick to functional testing for now. I want to, add a task so that, it's kind of useful for tracking. So let's say I'm, working on this task and I need to complete the test cases for this task. So let's say, functional testing for GMO online. Okay, adding the details. Okay. Okay. So here, if you want attachment, you can attach here, directly. If you want to expedite, you want to, see, whenever you are working on a large team, so it's planning in progress. Okay, so whenever you are working for a large team, let's say big teams, so what happens there, right? You need to create test cases and somebody else will execute it. Okay, in this case, we are going to do it all, so there is no one else will do it. So let's say this task will take 10, let's say 10 hours, okay, 10 hours, right? And including our creation of test cases and executing it. Okay, so we just create it. Okay, so we just created task. Okay, let's click on this, done. Okay, good. So we have successfully created a task. So why do we need task? Let's say you are doing functional testing. Now you also have regression testing. Okay. Now you also have, before that, maybe you might be working on system integration testing. You might be working on integration testing, so on. So each of them has separate sets of test cases. So you don't want to club everything in one. You want to create test cases for each and every testing differently, so that it's easy for you to execute it when it is required. If you club everything in one, you won't know what is going on, right? So that's the reason you have this task. So let's say you or your boss or your scrum master, whoever has created this, need to work on this until it's completed, right? Okay. Any questions in task so far? So let's move to the next topic, test cases. So, you have successfully created a task. Now you need to, create test cases for this. Okay. Now, to create a test case, go to the test case module, which is, it's there in the kind of menu bar. Okay. And hover your mouse over actions. Okay. You don't even have to click on this. Just hover your mouse and click on new test case. So whenever you are creating a new test case, okay, all the steps you can include in one test case. So this is a very good, feature in this rally. What you do is, let's say you're doing for functional testing. Okay, you're doing for functional testing. You're creating one test case, not exactly one test case, but it's kind of set. Okay, let's say, we'll just create here. So once you have created this test case, you can create a number of steps in only one test case. So it's easy to track. Let's say that's why I want to put as functional test. Because if it's if it's a different thing, you can put it, change your name. Okay. Always make sure to follow the naming convention here. Okay. Here, that it's pretty much simple. You can put as functional testing, GMO on website, and see what kind of testing you are doing here and what is the project. And see, this is not really required, unless you want to put it like sometimes critical issue or, so let's say you're, doing for production, then you want to write as production or critical, critical test cases or something like that. Otherwise, it's not really required. Here, it's required because we only have the, username, password. So, make sure you write your name here. Okay, so if you don't write, I would not know who has written this test case. Okay, so make sure you guys write it here. Put it to start. Just similar like what you have done. You can just copy this and you can do it. Okay, here we'll write. Okay. Okay, good. Now you have, you have written some description. If you have any attachment, you can attach it. And the owner who? Owner is most of the time, if you're writing test case, the tester is an owner. Most of the time, okay. Unless, if you are writing test case and someone else is executing it, so that's a different story. Okay. There are also, places where you only write test cases. Just sit and only write test cases. That's your job. Okay. And sometimes there's a case where you only execute the test cases. You just sit and execute the test. You don't write any test cases. So there are some instances. So owner is always a tester, QA tester. If you are executing this test case, you are the owner. Okay. And then make sure which project you're working on. So this by default will be here. So it's okay. You're not going to change it. Okay. So if you want to expedite it, if it is a critical issue or you want to make it quick, you want to expedite. Otherwise, we'll just leave it alone. Objectives, we want to write this as functional testing or GMO online. If there are any other objectives like why are you doing it, what are the project dependencies and which project you can put some information here. Otherwise, simple is good. Functional testing for that project. Okay. Now here work product. So it's good. Work product, we know this. Otherwise, if you know your work product, which user story. So this is which requirement. Okay, US is user story. So which requirement does it belong? So we have a lot of 442. So you want to see this, which user story does it belong? Is it a defect? Normally it's not a defect. DE is the defect. So of course, most of the time it would not be a defect. You want to see user stories. You want to see which user story doesn't it belongs to, and you can specify that work product. So which work product does it belongs to? Now, what type of testing we are doing? Okay, so here we'll stick to functional testing. So we'll put this usability or user interface. So there are so many testings will be, we'll stick to functional testing here. And method, so it's automated or manual. So we'll go to manual. Priority. Here we'll make it as important by default, and risk medium. We are not going high. So unless if it is specified or if it's really required, so we put as important and medium. Preconditions. So what are the preconditions while you're performing your testing? So here's the thing. The preconditions are, let's try it. Okay, so here are the preconditions. Code should be in the test environment. So we are not testing this in production, or we are not testing in development environment unless specified. Unless your boss told you, unless your lead is saying, you're not doing anything in dev environment or production environment. You should always make sure it should be in test environment. So that's the reason. Preconditions, code should be deployed in test environment. Okay. And what is the second one? Smoke testing should be completed. Without, okay, some places you really don't require smoke testing. That's a different story. We'll be sticking to here. Okay, so we have to complete smoke testing. So we'll be working on smoke testing should be done. Now let's move here. Post conditions. We'll write is that. Okay. Okay. So what is the post conditions? Post condition is after your testing is complete, what we need to do. Okay. So here, the regression testing should be completed, and after regression testing, the code should be deployed in production. Okay. So that's the post conditions. So this precondition is before testing what we have to do, post condition after testing what we have to do. Okay, so that's the condition set. Okay, let's start writing our test cases here. So this is like steps. Okay, so this is you have these two fields. Okay, two boxes. One is the validation input, and the other is validation expected results. You have two important things, right? What is expected and what is actual. Okay, so what is actual we can only know after testing it. Here, what input you are trying to give, and expected is what are you expecting after that input. Okay, that's the two important things coordinated: input and expectation. So let's quickly check. So here we are lucky that we have this website ready. So otherwise, normally you're not going to write test cases based on the application. No way. You need to write test cases based on the requirements, or FRD or BRD. Okay, based on if there is requirement, okay. If there is no requirement, check with your developer saying that, hey, this is thing, I'm going to write the test cases. How the application is. Okay, so normally for QA there is supposed to be some kind of documents. Okay, so if there is no documents, then you need to check with the lead too. Okay, first lead. First, because the lead is the guy who will be helping you out. Okay. Then if no lead, then you need to check. If the lead says no, check with the developer, then you need to check with the developer. Okay. So here we are lucky. We have this application ready. So so what you are going to write is so let's say we are writing this in the Chrome browser. Okay. You may or may not test for all the browsers. So there are so many browsers. You need to check with the Chrome. You need to check with Firefox. You need to check with IE. So again, you have these versions in IE. Okay, IE 9, 10, 11, Microsoft Edge. Again, then you have this Safari. So these are a lot of browsers that you will be testing on. You may or may not, based on whatever the company policies. So here, let's quickly check. So we'll write here, enter the URL in the Chrome browser. So what's the expectation? Page should be navigated. Home page should be displayed. Simple. Home page of Geom Online should be displayed as per the requirement. Okay, so that's not what I'm saying. That's what the requirement is saying. Okay. So we are not now writing test cases, what I'm supposed to do, it's what the requirement says, we need to write test cases, right? So as per the requirement. So make sure you always put as per the requirement. And if it's there as per the requirement, that means you have gone through the requirement. Okay, this is not just putting as per the requirement. Okay. Okay, so this is what the home page of GML should. Now you need to write more test cases. This one is not enough. You need to write at least for 10. Okay, let's write for 5 for here. Okay. Okay, so here you need to add more fields here. You need to add more fields. So what you do, hover your mouse, you see the steps, the steps, besides this there is an icon. What is this icon? Action steps. Okay, click on that. So here you have option 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1 means you get 1 field and a pair of field, of course. 1 pair of field, 2 pair of field, 3 pair of field, so on. So I'll stick to 1. Click on 1. Okay, so here I got this field. Now I can name this step 1. Okay, now what are you trying to do here? So let's say I want to test all the buttons. Okay, let's first start with some button. Let's say enter GMO online button. So I want to see this button is working or not. Okay, of course you need to write test cases for these images. Okay, cosmetic issue, cosmetic requirements, all those things. Here we'll go simple. So what I'm going to write is click on okay. So click on enter GMO online. So this is the input. So what we are trying to do, input we are trying to click on GMO online. What is expected? So expected is online catalog page should be displayed. So what you are trying to do is online catalog page. Displayed as per the requirement. So that means you have gone through the requirement. Okay, you're not putting the as per the requirement just like that. You need to really check with the requirements. Do we really have this or no? Okay. Okay. Now we are good. Now we have completed one step. Now you need to add more steps. Okay. Again, let's see what the issues here. Hover your mouse over this again. Okay, I want this again 1. So I'll just go one by one. Okay. And okay, good. We are good. And let's see. Now let's say you have navigated the page and this page is showing up. Now I want to enter some number. Let's say 10 and click this button. So what I'm going to write it here is enter the value for 3% don't. Right? And click on place an order button. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is here, enter the value 10 in the order quantity for 3% don't tend and click on. So here you're entering 10 and clicking this button. Okay, that's what we are trying to do here. Okay, so that's the input. That's my input, and after putting input here, clicking on this button, and what is supposed to do here? So place order page. So page is navigating. Okay, So you just check it out. Okay, so place order page, just put in double quotes, so we know this is place in order. Place order page is displayed as per the requirement. Okay, and you can add, including this, including the total price. Just put it here. Okay, so we'll just put it including the total price as per the requirement. So what are you going input here? Input you are trying to give some value. Thus we have put as 10. And what is the display? So total price should be displayed after clicking on. Okay, so that's the expected result. That is the second step. Let's move to the next step. Okay, let's try one more step. So again, we go to the same story. Hover your mouse over this small icon, add action steps, click on that, and click on one. Okay, so here here is an issue. So this is not my second step, but here it's showing us second. You see this? This is not second. I'm going, as a chronological order. So one by one, right? I'm going one by one. Here, this has become third step and second step. This is not good. This is not what I was expecting. Okay, so this is because I already written my second step that has become third step. But that is not, my way. I need to move. I need to change this. So what I do is here you have an option. Now you have the second step, right? You need to move it to third. You have these small two icons here. See this? Okay. Hover your mouse. This is the add action step. And beside that, there is a action menu. Click on that. And you want to, move step down. You want to move this step down so that this becomes third step, because this is my third step, not second step. Second step is done. Okay, now it's good. Now this has become third step. Now what we do is click on proceed with order button. Okay, now what we do is so place an order in the okay. So what we are trying to do in the place order page, click on proceed with order button. You see this proceed with order? So click on that. So what happens? What is expected? Billing and information page shows up. So what you do is you should enter this. Okay, just fill up this. So once you have done, so what is expected? Billing information page is displayed. Okay. So just put those comments. Okay, so this is this is the third step. Now, okay, what we are trying to do is here we are in the billing information page is displayed. Once you click that proceed with order, button, billing information, and you fill up all. Okay, so this is third step. Now you want to write one more step. So here what we do is, here you already have this icon, two icons, right? Add action step and this action menu. What I do is, I don't want to again go over here and hover my mouse over this and click one more and again pull that test case into 4. It's not, that's wastage of time, because it's I don't want to concentrate on wasting time. I want to concentrate on writing my test cases, right? So here you can just hover your mouse over this action steps, add action step, and click over here. What it does is, it just creates one more step, one more empty field right after the third step. So this is more useful, because I don't want a test case which is showing up in between, and it's actually I need to again move that box down. It's I don't want to do that. So that's the reason I'm just clicking this so that the field or that box just appears after that step. Okay, good. Now we have successfully got this, and now okay. So what we are trying to do here is enter all the information in billing information page and click on place the order button. Okay, so this is the button we want to click it, and so before that you cannot click it. So you need to put all the information, what's your name, address, so on, and you want to click it. What's the expectation? Let's see. Store receipt. So page is navigated to store receipt. Okay. So here is thing. Okay. See, so somebody asked, right? Can we write all these steps in one table? You can do that. But that really, clogs a lot of information in one step. You don't want to do that. Okay, why? Because it's not. See, your test cases will be viewed by your boss. Okay, your test cases will be viewed by your lead. Your test cases will be, everyone in the whole company will be seeing what you're doing. Okay, so it doesn't look good if you're clogging all the information in just one table. It's not recommended, but it's, of course, it's based on the company policy. Don't care or something, it's okay. But as my personal opinion, I would not do that. Why? Because this is designed for writing each and every step. So you're doing each and every step, what you're doing the next step. So it's kind of like that. So you don't want to clog all the information in just one step, saying that, hey, here it can be more descriptive. In this, you can still write it, let's say, let's say, you want to hover your mouse, right? So you want to write some, here, just you can put some values here. Just like, because you cannot write each and every step, in one step, right? So, what we have tested, home page images, URLs, and you can write some of this information, and and you can leave it, but you don't want to clog all the steps into just one step. It's it's not recommended. Okay. So here, online store receipt page is displayed as per the requirement. Okay, good. Now we have, written this. Now again, click on this. Okay, so I'll take a little bit 5 to 10 minutes. Is it okay for everyone? So we just finished this. Now we are just almost completed. Okay, click on this, and again I want to use one more field, one page of field, of course, and click on this, and it's good to use that one. So I'll be saving some time. Okay, and here again we have this. So what we have here, click on return to home page button. Okay, and this is the button. We are clicking it and click on this. So so page is redirected to home page of GMO Online. Okay, so now this is what how the test cases you need to write, because we need to test each and every values in the page. Okay, not just button. So we have just entered this button. We have just went all this, but you need to, as as I told you in the previous class, we need to go for positive testing. We need to do for negative testing, and so on. Okay, if you find anything back end, front end, you need to do all this testing. But since you cannot write each and every test cases for descriptive, you can add this. You need to test, of course. You can contribute more time for testing than contributing time in writing test cases. You can just copy this and put it in this test case, saying that tested these fields. Okay, tested these fields with the positive values, with the negative values, and the boundary values. Okay, all those things we have tested it, and we also tested this image. It's in the right place as per the requirement. Okay, we also tested the cosmetic issue, which is in the black color, and this online catalog. Okay, so on. So since we cannot write each and everything for every test step, we cannot do that because we don't have that much time. But we can include that information in one step. The similar like this. And okay, so here you can write some information saying that, okay, we have done for positive scenario, we have done for negative scenario, we have also done for the boundary values. There is anything else, you can go ahead and write into this. And this, this is useful because you don't want to create test cases more than 20. 20 is limit. It's not really required how many test cases, but you don't want to use your time in just writing test cases. You want to use your time in testing. Okay, so make sure don't use too much of time just writing test cases. Okay, 20 is max. You don't want to, even if companies saying no, write it more. You can tell to them, no, we can write it, no issue. But if you're using more time in writing test cases, then of course you'll be losing time for executing the test cases. Okay, because we need to execute too. Okay, now once you're good, where is the save? Save and close. Now we have successfully written the test cases that shows up here in the test case module. Okay, so everyone sees this, right? So here, you have successfully have written the test cases for GMO Online. Okay, so I have concentrated on positive scenarios in the homework. Make sure you guys, I'll be giving you homework, so make sure you guys write homework. Okay. Okay, now we need to execute these test cases. Writing is not enough. Now nobody cares we have written what or not. Nobody bothers. You need to execute. Okay, to execute it, you have three icons here. See this icon? Right at the corner of this field. So we have this fields, right? What's this ID? The name, what product? These are the fields. Okay, priority, owner, method, project. Okay, and here you have these three icons located. You see this? One is execution icon. That is located as cross and tick mode. And this edit icon, it's pencil and paper, and this copy icon. You can click on those. Here, what I'm working on is execute this test case. Click on this. Okay, good. So now you have this build. Okay, let's go to build, new build, 23rd. So build, you need to get the information which build you're working on is 23.0.03 or whatever it is, which build you're working on. Verdict is what's the verdict. Okay, is it blocked, error, failed? So no. Okay, so that's the execution result. And duration, let's say we put some duration number. Who is the responsible tester and the date of proof. It's automatically updated when you execute this. Here, you have to attach this attachment. Okay, we went through this. Let's quickly check, how you can do that. No, attachment is always mandatory. Let's quickly, see how we can do this. So attachment, you can, you put this in MS Word. Okay, let's quickly check. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so each and every test, you have done. So you are told like we are doing testing, right? So what is the evidence that you have done your testing? Because see, this is the most important thing which is not explained by anyone. Okay, because nobody knows. See, what happens, right? When you've done testing, let's say you have done testing, okay, and developer did some mistake there, okay, so he did some change, some value, the code, and he never informed anyone that he changed it, and that thing just went into production, just like that. And now there is an issue in the production. Now you are the one who will get catch, not developers. No. So they are good. They did some mistake. We don't know. We never had this problem. But suddenly show them production, and you are the one who could get catch, not developers. Although they have done mistake. Now, what is the evidence that you have done good job? Your boss asked. So there's an issue in the production. So where is your results? Where is your screenshots? How do I know that you have done good? There is no proof. So here's the case where you need to attach the attachment. Always, always, and always attach the attachment. How do you do this? Let's quickly go through that. Okay, that's the most important, feature which nobody tells you. Okay, so you have this, print screen. Let's put this, and we just quickly go through this. Just put this, save this top. One, two, actually not a part. Put this, put it here. And now you want to navigate to the next page. Put a screenshot. You can just put it right away in the MS Word, but I don't want to do that. I'll just use this feature because I don't want to use all of them. What I'm trying to do, I just put the information which is required, not everything, right? So now, just put this, and you need to do for every page. Okay, it's not just one or two, it's done. No, that doesn't work that way, because when you're questioned, you need to show evidence that you have done completed testing. Okay, because the next question that your boss asks, how do I know what I have to tested? Right? That's a very valid question. Okay, so you need to have all these documents ready so that, okay, I know you got my point, right? So you want to make sure everything's ready. Okay, so we are running out of time, so I'll not go in detail. Screenshot. Never miss the screenshot, because that is the one that will be, saving your job. So if you miss the screenshot, okay, let's stop here. Okay, so we just move to the next one. I mean, this is the way you need to, take the screenshot and put it in MS Word. Okay, and make sure. So I'm not requesting this, as a homework, but this is, something which you have to do always. So make sure, make it a habit. Okay, make it a habit of doing this. Okay, and we'll just put it as geomod testing. Save it. Okay, good. Just close this. Okay, now go back here and put the attachment. So if you miss that attachment, okay, now what you're gonna write is here, successfully completed functional mistake. Okay, and always make sure put the attachment. Okay, without attachment, it's not a good idea for saying that you have completed your testing. You cannot do that, because even you can escape, but the moment you get a call from your boss, hey, can you stop at my desk? Then you think something is wrong. Okay, save and close. It's good. Now, we have done this. Okay, and suddenly, you see this plus icon shows up here near TC277. Click on this, and you see this successfully completed functional testing. Okay, good. Now, if you want to see, so your boss checks this. Once you say, okay, now I have completed my testing. Okay, show where is the result. So the moment you say this, click on this. You have a lot of information here saying that, okay, show me your result. So here is the thing, geomodtesting.doc.n. The moment you click on this, they see your result. Okay, so it was not there in QA. Maybe, developer has changed it, or, you should never do that. You need to see, okay, I've done my testing. So, look at this, there was no issue when I was testing, but I don't know what got changed. Okay, and okay, so and you can say like I'm not sure what exactly went wrong, but when I was testing that defect was not there. I'm not sure how it showed up in production, but we did our job good. So this is the this is the evidence, or this is the proof which will tell your boss, okay, so you have done your job good. That thing shows up. Okay, so you will be good. Okay, so they'll not trouble you again. Okay, so that's a very important thing. Okay, so although I have not explained in detail, I have not gone through this, but that's how you need to remember. Okay, always attach the screenshot. Without screenshot, it's not good. So even in experience, even if you're I don't care, your 10 years experience or 30 years experience, if you don't do this, you can be caught anytime. Okay, anytime whenever your boss calls, and if you don't have results, you don't have documentation, that's not good. Okay, so that's how we execute these test cases. Any questions so far? this, in the real time too, you have this, okay, lot of projects going on, lot of things are happening. You need to check which user story does your belongs to. Okay, a lot of things. Navigate this page. There are again a lot of user stories. A lot of things are happening here. Okay, so we need to make sure which user story you will be working on. So, somebody asked question. So, what, can you be specific on your question? Like, what is your finding to be mentioned? So, here we are only writing test cases. So, every screenshot of your page navigation should be recorded. Okay. Can you be a little bit more specific? So, what is our finding to be mentioned? So I didn't get, like, what's the finding. So here we are not opening any defects. We are not opening any defects. We are just recording the screenshots. Why do we need to record the screenshot? As I told you, right? Your boss can anytime ask you, where is the evidence? Where is the proof that you have done testing? So if you show no, I have executed the test case, that's not enough. Execute test case, everyone writes test case, everyone executes it. But if they're in a production issue, let's say it's a production issue, and you are the one who gets caught. You testing. Testers are the first person who gets caught their production issue. Okay, and they will not go to developers. No. So even if they are developers. Okay, so we'll go through this. Tomorrow we'll go, okay, somebody asked, right? So, how do you defect and how do you report to the developer? We'll go through that tomorrow. So that will be in different, let's go to this. We'll go through that in detail, okay? So, go to the defects module and we'll open the defects and we'll see how, I'll explain in detail the defect module and, we'll go through this. Okay, by tomorrow, we'll be working on this. Okay, somebody asked, right, how to open a defect and how to report at home. So we'll go through this by tomorrow. Any more questions? So make sure you guys do this homework. So I'll be giving you homework. So I'll be giving you access to this rally tool. Okay, you'll get access by today. Oops. Okay, so I'll give you access of this rally, and you need to do homework. So to make sure you guys do the homework. Any more questions? If no one has any questions, can we close this class for today? Okay, thank you guys.